What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis here, your coach of the Helsinki Dragons, and I'm here for my NPL Majors Season 9 Week 2 battle versus Aberforth, and his team being the Newcastle Umbreons. His team includes of Mega Charizard X, Zeraora, Manaphy, which is one of his sea captains, Celebi, Togegis, Scizor, Alolan Persia, which is one of his sea captains as well, Gengar, Archeops, Stonefang, Cutiefly, and Venipede. So that is his roster that I had to prepare for. And let's go through the team that I decide to bring for this game. Starting with my Mega Aerodactyl with Rock Slide, Fire Fang, Earthquake, and Roost. With a Implish Nature, Max Defense, a little bit of HP investment as well. With those two I'm able to leave a Bullet Punch from Fall from a Adamant Choice Banded Scizor, while at the same time also leaving a pinch a Thunder Punch from a +1 Charizard X. And then we have enough speed investment to outspeed Zeraora, which is speed creeping my Starmie. And with the 3 attacks and Roost, I figured that this is like my best way to soft check certain things, enable me to stay in versus one of the biggest threats that he possesses my own roster, which is the Scizor. And while it may seem a little bit awkward that I'm willing to put so much bulk just to leave a Bullet Punch from a Scizor itself, I figured it's really necessary for me throughout this team builder that as many monsters as possible, if not every single one of them, can hit it super effectively and potentially kill it from full or after Stealth Rock. So I figured that that's the proper way to approach this matchup and be able to therefore also have a team style of build that can within stand to stay into the field versus his Volturn offense, because the biggest issues that I saw throughout this battle, knowing the coach being Aberforth himself and seeing how he likes to play in the past in draft leagues that he has been part of, he likes to go with setup, Volturn offense, or just hyper offense in general. He's a very offensive player, so I figured that if I'm able to avoid having to be forced out every single time and he's able to just punish me and keep up the momentum, and have the options of killing those things that pressure me so much, would be the best way to go about this. Have a hazard stacking bulky offense. So that's gonna be the key team concept surrounding this Mega Aerodactyl that I decided to go with. And the second mode that I decided to bring is going to be my dedicated lead in Mental Herb Crocodile with Earthquake, Rock Tomb, Fire Fang, and Stealth Rocks, with enough speed to outspeed non-investment based hundreds, enough defense investment to avoid being awkward by neutral frail pits from a Charizard X. If it's able to, for example, Dragon Dance up, I intimidate him back into neutral attack, I can still live the flare pits after 2 rounds of Stealth Rock damage if my Crocodile has happened to have to take those. So that is the benchmark defensively wise with the IVs, and offensively wise with Adamant Nature with 216 attack, we are able to OHKO a offensive Scizor from full, and after Stealth Rocks we can still kill a max HP variant as well, assumedly he doesn't have Okka Berry or is like physically defensive orientated, which I don't think will be the case for him to bring. And because of the Mega Evolution how we have here in the NPL Majors, I have to carry for the Rock Tomb for the Charizard X if he tries to play mind games versus me with the Charizard X itself. So I can hit it with Rock Tomb, potentially kill it, or very least able to consistently hit it super effectively or quad effectively and keep its speed low, or whatever comes in I can lower their speed as well with that move itself. And then Earthquake for the strongest stab. I didn't think I need the dark type coverage or stab itself as much as I figured that I need these 3 moves and I need the Stealth Rocks immediately, and with the Mental Herb I can avoid Alolan Persian as a lead to prevent me to get up those Stealth Rocks. So that is gonna be the idea with the Crocodile. Next up we have a Assault Vest, Rose Raid with Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Hidden Power Fire, and Extra Sensory. Nature Curious' ability and Calm Nature in itself. We have enough bulk with HP and SPDF that we can leave a Bullet Punch from full from the Scizor itself, and Hidden Power Fire even without Technician still blows it back, while at the same time what the primary mission is this thing is to live a +3 Ice Beam or Psychic from a Manaphy after Stealth Rocks, and that is what I needed therefore mainly. I needed to be a soft check to Manaphy go for the energy ball, soften it down to the point that it's easier for me to revenge kill with something like a choice Scarfer that I'm gonna be revealing later on, or with my Mega Aerodactyl if necessary. So that is the idea there. And then the other coverage moves, slot spawn for the stab to hit things like Cofagrigus, Celebi, Charizard X a little bit harder, etc. Hit about fire for the Scizor, like I mentioned, it should be able to kill it actually, even without the Technician. If it's max HP, then it's like after rocks, it's definitely gonna kill, assumingly it doesn't have Oka Berry. And Extra Sensor is just as a filler move to hit still things like Gengar and Venipede. Even though I don't expect them to come, I still want to the option to hit them with. And this is kind of like my primary response to Gengar if it happens to show up defensively wise. So that is gonna be Roserade. The Nature Cure ability is there over Technician as well, to make sure that if I see Togekiss coming in and I have a hunch that it would be going for T-Wave, I can use either this thing or the other mod that has also Nature Cure to pivot into that Thunder Wave itself, clear themselves out as I swapping out into my Mega Aerodactyl, so my Mega Aerodactyl can come in easily on Air Slash, and now I don't have to fear of him going for a Thunder Wave, for example. So that is the idea there. Then we have Cofagrigus, max HP, max defense with Colbur Berry, just being a soft check to things like physically oriented Zeraora, and to the Scizor itself too. So I also have a switching into it and prevent it to set up or any kind of button passing shenanigans to be happening, cause we don't allow speed passing, but we still allow passing other stat as well. So keep that in mind, and also how many setup options that he has. Naturally, I knew that I have to bring haste, not just for the Scizor, but just in general. I figured that Cofagrigus with that can be very useful. And the primary thing besides that is there to spin block the Donphan, make sure that I can keep the hazards up, not only Stealth Rocks, but also the Toxic Spikes that I will be carrying with this. And as long as he doesn't bring Gengar or Venipede, with the hazards being up, I can punish his Volt Turn offense, even if I don't have the greatest momentum options myself. So I have the bulk to withstand as many hits as possible with my Mons on key moments, while at the same time I'm forcing him to take the chip damage, not only from my hazards, but hopefully from my Mons as well, when I find a turn to go for the attacking moves and hits what in front of me or what I expected to come in. So there's kind of like where I meant by bulky offensive approach, that how I wanted to fulfill it and punish his own playstyle that I see him doing versus me. Then we have the Starmie as my choice Scarfer, which I mentioned that I would be bringing one. Yet again with Nature Cure, same idea as Roserade, just in case for pivoting around potential Thunder Wave coming to my way, if that's necessary. And then we have Modest Nature, enough speed to outspeed his base 100s. So if Manaphy is C-Rain Dash, if Charizard X is at +1, I still outspeed them with 1 point. And I can revenge kill them in a proper health with Surf or with Thunderbolt. The 8 IVs on defense actually comes in play, that I can leave a +1 Dragon Claw from a Charizard X after Stealth Rock. So that enables me to be even better revenge kill, because I outspeed it, go for the Surf, do over half, assumingly that he's more offensively spread that I would expect him to run versus me. Then he goes for attack, I live the hit, barring a Thunder Punch of course or a crit, and then I Surf it back on another turn, and then we have already dealt with it from there. So that's the idea. Hit about fire for the Scizor. I can also check that thing if it's trying to go for a sweep with Bullet Punch, and since I'm part water type I do resist it. So if it's weakened down, I can go for the Hidden Power Fire and check it. And then the Thunderbolt is there for the Manaphy and Togekiss as well. And Rapid Spin just as a filler move if I ever need to get rid of the hazards, because he does have niche options for hazard stacking with his lower tier picks. And or if I have to get rid of the Stealth Rocks, I have the option there as well to help out my spreads to function even better if I rely on Stealth Rocks not being up. Then the final member of the team is gonna be my Dragonium C Kyurem-Black with a Modest Nature, enough speed to outspeed base 100s without having much speed investment themselves. The bulk enables me from special side and with the HP wise to live a +3 Dazzling Gleam from the Manaphy Foam Fall. And with the Dragonium C and with the special attack, I will do 89% minimum to a mana feat that is speed creeping, max speed, timid, or jolly Kyurem-Black, or whatever plus speed nature I would happen to be. And it provides me there a way to also nuke a choice out that would rely on winning a prediction game, me going for a Fusion Bolt or for a Dragon Claw. So it gave me options for both of those mons to nuke them without thinking too much. And therefore on out, it can also be a soft check to things like Celebi, which can be annoying to pivot around with. It can also help me to switching to Donphan if I expect him to not be able to go for a rapid spin, and offensively pressure him back immediately with a Ice Beam and Ulcoit, even through sturdy because of my ability. And that is gonna be the team, that is gonna be the idea. Hopefully it's gonna go well. I know I'm going up against a very good coach at his prime. He has been a little bit away from Monslet recently, and this is kind of like his comeback season after taking a break. But I have seen him going up against very good coaches like Jolt, Gypsykin, etc. And all of them have always respected him highly as a pure player. But hopefully my experience and my freshness to Draft League format can give me the edge with my team building. But I'm gonna be coming back real quick with the battle replay itself. Hello, hi Dragons, and here we are with the battle replay versus Aberforth, and he decided to bring Mega Charizard X, Donphan, Manaphy, Aurora, regular Scissor, and the Alolan person. So both of his potential Sea Captains were brought, and basically all of the 6 mons were the mons that I was highly anticipating to come into this game. So somewhat happy that definitely the mons that I expect to bring were brought, and I have my game plan with my team building. But it also means that he basically brought all of these best mons, which matches up the best versus me and can cause the most issues to me offensively or supportive wise. So you can pick and choose that which one is better to really think. But I'm happy that at least I can see my game plan is still being in there, and now I have to see how well I'm able to execute it and how well it can work in the actual battle itself. I'm gonna be leading up with my Crocodile, as he's gonna be leading up with his Alolan person here. I'm just gonna go for the Stealth Rocks. I have the Mental Herb to prevent him to try to stop me going for the Stealth Rocks with Taunt, but he goes straight up with the Parting Shot into the Donphan. This is great because this means that I can go for the rocks safely. And now as the Donphan comes in, even if how likely my play is to go for Cofagrigus, it's always my play, because what it also enables me to do is to get up Toxic Spikes, which are looking really nice versus his team, already influencing 4 of his 6 mons, and once the Charizard X is Mega Evolved, I will also affect that thing as well, which can be really nice in the long run. And he's gonna go for his Stealth Rocks himself, using the turn properly, not try to go for the Rapid Spin, knowing that I have Cofagrigus in the back as he swap into his Aurora. And this is a turn that I have to kind of stand my ground and not try to swap into this thing. I have to stay in my Cofagrigus because I don't have the greatest like a soft check to Aurora on my team if he runs the proper coverage like Plasma Fist, fighting coverage, Fire Punch, and a Knockoff/Volt Switch does a lot of work versus my own team. So I have to stay in here, and I go for the Shadow Ball and go for the damage what is in front of me, or get any kind of chip damage what would be coming in if he goes for the Volt Switch. And he goes for the Volt Switch, reveals to be not max special attack or heavily invested on special attack, but this tells me that he could just potentially be like a mixed spread and not having a nature that lowers his special attack like Adamant, which I was highly anticipating him to do. But this could be his way to make sure that his Volt Switches does do a little bit more chip damage, which is always nice. Or he can, besides that, having some other special type move that he wants to hit harder with than he would be with having a special attack in lower nature. So he's gonna go for the Volt Switch. Not revealing also the Life Orb was something that I was a little bit surprised with, but also okay with, because I took the Volt Switch therefore on out a little bit better, and he didn't reveal to be Saplate or anything like that. He goes into his Scissor, probably expecting me not to have Will-O-Wisp with Toxic Spikes already being into the field, and I went for them with the Cofagrigus. But this is okay by me, because this is my dedicated check to this Scissor, or as a soft check as best as they come by from my team. And I go for the Shadow Ball as it comes in, and that does 34%, which is I couldn't really tell from his spread what he exactly could be, but the big part is that I get the special attack, special defense or what I should say, and that is huge, because if he happens to stay in, not go for roost or anything like that, or he goes for U-turn and gets himself out of there, I'm gonna be killing it from here, and I have the Colbo Berry intact. Even if he reveals to be Bandit, I will leave it thanks to that, and he doesn't have any other move to hit me that would be killing me with Choice Band. So I'm gonna stay in, go for the Shadow Ball, as he's gonna stay in, not revealed to be Choice Bandit based on the damage. And I actually went for the Pain Split actually. I forgot that I went for the Pain Split. I expect him to go for Roost, or he goes for the U-turn. But now I go for the Shadow Ball, seeing that he is willing to stay in, and I'm not able to gain too much health back even this low. So I'm gonna be able to snatch myself the first kill of the game, and moan that I could not ask for a better to go down from my opponent's behalf first. I don't know what to say, like, the Scissor itself was such a huge threat versus my team that I was heavily surprised that he prioritized so much, whittling down to my Cofagrigus and willing to trade that off for his Scissor, because Scissor is a huge threat versus my Mega Aerodactyl, which I would think is biggest threat to him. So unless he has a backup plan to deal with that thing, it looked very iffy play from my behalf, but I definitely take it, because that thing is a huge nuisance and it takes so much pressure out of my rest of the team, that being gone. And now I am at 18%, which means that I'm probably gonna leave it around for the battle if I can afford to, depending on what he goes into, and keep it as a potential sack slash a spin blocker still for the Donphan, because I do have my hazards up and I would like to keep it that way throughout the battle itself too, to keep him whittled down, and therefore it's easier for me to pick them off from there with my own mons. He goes into his Charizard X. I'm gonna immediately respond to this to my with my Krookodile, get the Intimidate off. No matter what he goes for, I can easily take any kind of hit and pressure him back. And he goes for the Roost and decides to Mega Evolve. So that means that now my Toxic Spikes are gonna affect it. Granted, he's able to take away his ×4 weakness to rocks, which helps him out and longevity wise, and be able to get the Roost off. But that's huge that now that thing is being crowded and everything on his team is now crowded. So Krookodile is always free to click Earthquake as well if necessary. Or my Aerodactyl itself too, to make sure that it hits everything as hard as possible, even Donphan. And it can also currently hit the Charizard X with the Earthquake too, and not risk a potential miss. So he does go into his Persian here, but I'm gonna actually pull my own double in front of the Charizard X while it was into the field, cause I'm not expecting him to stay in. I expect him to go into either to Donphan, to this person, or maybe to Manaphy. Manaphy would be very aggressive play, but that was still in mind as I was doing this play. So you're gonna see that I make the double into my Kyurem-Black, so I get the call right in that sense that one of those three mons that I was expecting did show up, and he didn't risk his Charizard X being at -1 in front of Krookodile. So he made his proper play in that sense, and I wanted to respond to that into my Kyurem-Black, because now I can start pressuring his team and start going for damage. And I'm gonna be just going for a raw Ice Beam. I'm not gonna blow my C yet, because it can be very valuable for potential Manaphy at very worst, especially if he parting shots. I want to have another way to still nuke things even at -1 special attack if I see a need for it. And now I just go for the Ice Beam. If he stays in, I get a huge damage off on it. Depending on the roll, I can kill it after poison, and we can go from there. But I believe that most of the time he should be living this barring a crit, and he can save it for a sack, or he can go for the damaging move first and then go for the potting shove on the following turn. And here revealing also leftovers means that the Manaphy is more inclined to be a C move. He could just not bring a C move in general with either of his potential C captains, but now I'm more inclined to that he would be that, especially once I see it in front of me and he doesn't have leftovers, for example. He could still be Wakamberry. Outside of leftovers is another potential item, or like a Super Berry to gain health. But it gave me a little bit of information in that sense, potentially, or giving me room to maybe start taking options more into consideration what the mana fee is. But as you saw, I got a crit on the Ice Beam as he went for the Dark Pulse. Didn't do much because of my spread and how bulky Kyurem-Black is. But that's huge because I haven't spoken to him, and we have to see from his perspective what his plan was on this and following turn, as he's gonna upload this today as hopefully as well as I am. But what I can see from my point of view, he had the option of getting that chip damage off, and then the following turn, as he would most of the time live the hit, if not guaranteed depending on his spread, he then could have gone for another hit or saved it and gone for the parting shot and gone from there. So in that sense, he just lost another resource, another potential sack, and his best way to utilize my Kyurem-Black as a setup fodder, even though it's hard to think that Kyurem-Black ever is a setup fodder to anything. But yeah, that was huge that I got the crit, because that meant that I don't have to worry about the parting shot on a following turn if he went for that. So I felt really bad for it, and here he decides to bring his mana fee in over something like Zeraora or Charizard X to pressure me back and just outright kill me. But he decides to go into his mana fee, and I saw that okay, he's gonna try to set up in front of me. Think that he can leave a Fusion Bolt or anything like that, whatever he might be as an item. Because I haven't revealed what I exactly am. He knows I have Kyurem-Black as one of my C captains, and it's since I didn't bring Cramble, if I bring a C move, it's only on this thing. And that's what I'm gonna be going for. I'm gonna go for the Draganium C, because as long as he's the spread as long as he's the spread that I would think it is, now at being 88%, I should be always killing it. If he has a different spread that I will think, then I might be missing out on it barely, and then the Toxic Spikes recall or the Poison recall will kill it. And if he happens to live it, then so be it. Then he's gonna live 2 more turns and he's gonna die to that, or I just quickly revenge kill it, and he only is able to kill my Kyurem-Black out of the way, which I'm perfectly fine with at this point of time. But he's gonna set up, in front of my Kyurem-Black, and I was like, nope. Forgotten is not a setup fodder to anything, or to like mana fee, for example, at all. And we blow that thing back with the Draganium C, and that's pretty devastating, and that's pretty much where the downhill starts. Spoilers, I guess, to what is gonna end up happening. Cause now he went to his Zeraora and he reveals the Focus Blast as I'm gonna be sacking my Cofagrigus, because I figured that, well, at very worst, what Kyurem-Black still provides me is a guaranteed way to kill the Donphan besides Rose Raid, and I didn't see too much value to Cofagrigus in itself, so I figured I might as well go into it. Off the chance he is somewhere choice locked, like he could be, like a choice cow for example, and if he goes for the fighting type move, well, now I'm immune to it, and he's either forced out or he's forced to stay in and sack, and I get a huge pain split off, depending on which one it's gonna be affecting. So I was kinda doing a half sack while having a upside to it if I get it right, and he reveals to be a potentially choice cow, cause it's definitely not Specs or anything like that, and then he's definitely not Bandit, so that revealed to me that okay, he's choice locked into this. I got my pain split off, and because he started to get so low, my best bet right now is just go for the Shadow Ball, and now he goes into his Charizard X, and here I'm gonna be staying in. There's no point of yet again try to swap around and potentially choke here in front of the Charizard X, cause right now I'm just looking forward to try to end this game and not give him room to potentially bring this back by any point of imagination with whatever set he could have with his Charizard X. You're gonna see that he is gonna be a Belly Drum set, so I was like, well, Cofagrigus might be able to actually snatch another kill here, and you're gonna see that it does, so that's pretty huge right there. And then the Donphan is only remaining, and because it's so healthy right now, I can actually go for the Pain Split. Claim a lot of health from that, put him very low in itself as well while doing it, and then potentially just finish it off with Cofagrigus and claim myself a potential 6-0 here, which was definitely out of the consideration by any imagination going into this game that I could 6-0 Aberforth, especially him, considering all the people I really looked up I always have looked high upon him as a player whenever I see him playing versus other people who I tend to watch. So going to this game, I didn't expect this to happen. You cannot ever expect 6-0 to happen. If you're one of those people that you expect it to happen, you're a cocky little bastard, and I hope you lose every single time you have the mindset of that. And I definitely had that. I didn't have the mindset of that going to this game. I was kind of like hoping that, well, hopefully I can survive the offense that he's gonna bring at me, and my plan is gonna work out and I give my best chance to win. And that's always kind of like the mindset. Hopefully I'm able to barely win this one, but instead of being barely a win, I think I might be the first person getting a 6-0 this season in the NPL. Not sure, and I don't want to spoil if I'm I try to spoil this and go and check if I'm right on this. But getting a 6-0 already in a week 2 is pretty significant, and good game to Aberforth. I know he's gonna bounce back from this. Like, obviously it cannot go worse for him than getting a 6-0. But I don't think this game tells that who good of a player he can be, and I think this just shows that how much he is still adjusting to get hang of things in Draft League after having a break. And NPL Majors is no joke. Even after what happened last season, we still have very strong competition over here. So Aberforth definitely still has some adversity to go along, but I really hope that the Aberforth can bounce back real quickly and he gets the hang of things and start to showcase why he is seen as high in the past as a pure Draft League player. And he has to draft to definitely turn it around. It's very threatening and very hard to prepare for. But that's gonna be my week 2 battle versus Aberforth. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and until next week and back on Saturday when we get back into things in the UBLD League, I'll be see you guys later.